Hey everybody, I'm Justin with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing the Corsa Performance closed box cold air intake with their MaxxFlow oiled filter, available for all 2019 and newer 5.3 powered Silverado 1500s. Now you guys should be considering the made in the USA Corsa for your 5.3 powered truck if you want to go with an extremely high quality, no tune required system to help increase the power and torque on your rig, but also would prefer to keep those intake air temps as low as possible thanks to the really nice sealed enclosure. Now the Corsa will again not require the use of any custom or can tuning. All right, let's start off here with some of our features. First up, guys, 11 and 11. That's the horsepower and torque the Ohio-based company is claiming with their cold air system installed on the 5.3 Silverados at home. Now, Corsa also claims that these numbers are made possible thanks to the nearly 20% increase in flow over the stock airbox. More airflow typically equals more power, and that certainly seems to be the case here. Now, moving away from the numbers and getting into some of the other features, and the biggie for me will be the really nice sealed enclosure here, which will be crucial in making sure you're getting fresh, cool air as opposed to that hot engine bay air. Now, I really prefer the sealed enclosures overall for consistent performance. And again, this one is really well done. Now, finally, guys, on the topic of keeping things cool, Corsa also utilizes a roto-molded polyethylene, which will do a great job of resisting heat soak under the hood. Now let's get into the construction with the Corsa, and I do want to start off with the airbox and the filter specifically here. Now this kit does feature the MaxxFlow oiled filter that is washable, it is reusable. Corsa does suggest that cleaning this thing every 40,000 miles isn't a bad idea and re-oiling every 25,000 miles. Now Corsa does also offer this intake in a dry filter instead, and that might be a better option for owners out there who prefer a little less maintenance. Now the oiled filter that we have here again will live in this very nice molded airbox, which we've already talked about at length, but the airbox is also topped off with a removable plexiglass lid that does feature the Corsa logo here. It definitely looks sharp under the hood, while at the same time allowing you to keep an eye on your filter cleanliness over the years. Finally, guys, we did talk about that roto-molded plastic intake tube here, and it does also include everything needed for the install, including some really nice couplers, clamps, and everything else. Very easy install, as we'll show you here in a little bit, but always like to point that out. This is a bolt-on job. There's no any modification required or anything like that, and the system is backed by a pretty solid warranty if you should ever need it. Quickly talking price point here for the closed box Corsa. It's gonna live in that low $400 ballpark, which honestly puts this thing right in line with other quality systems on the site with big brand names that also feature a sealed enclosure. So if you wanna check out the rest of our selection, never a bad idea before making your final decision. All right, last but not least, let's get into the installation. And again, because cold airs like this are traditionally a very easy bolt-on job, site's gonna call this a soft 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you, I would say, at least 45 minutes to complete from start to finish. Now to give you a better idea of how this one might go down on your 5.3 at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need an impact, a ratchet, various extensions, T15 and T20 Torx bits, a 10mm socket, Phillips and flathead screwdriver, and a clip removal tool. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing an intake on our Silverado, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a quick video on how to remove your factory intake, and we'll see you when you get back.
Getting started, we need to obviously pop our hood here on our Silverado, and then first step is to unplug your mass airflow sensor. You're going to want to pull back on this red clip and then release the plug. So again, slide the red portion back. At that point, you can release the clip. Next up, we're going to work on removing the intake tube portion of the factory intake. Getting started, we can loosen up our clamp here at the airbox connection. Either use a flathead screwdriver for this or an 8mm socket. Next up, we're going to loosen up the clamp here at the throttle body connection, again using a flathead screwdriver or an 8mm socket. With our two clamps loosened up, we're about ready to pull out the intake tube portion, but before we do, we have to go ahead and remove our PCV hose on the back here, push in on the gray clip, and pull back. At this point now, we can go ahead and remove our intake tube from the engine bay. releasing it from the throttle body and then from the airbox. Next up, we need to remove the upper radiator valance here. There are 10 plastic clips holding this in place, so grab a trim removal tool, flathead screwdriver, whatever you have laying around. You're gonna wanna pop the top off this clip and then remove the clip itself. Now before we go ahead and remove our upper radiator valance, we do need to remove the hood latch release. To do so, you need a T15 Torx tool. With that removed, you can slide it off. With the latch out of the way, now you can remove your valance. The reason you removed your upper radiator valance is to gain access to this clip right here. Basically, you need to pop this guy out. With that clip removed, that'll allow you to pull back the snorkel just enough to get out of that stock airbox. Now we can go ahead and remove this 10mm nut down here, and that will be our first step in removing our stock airbox. Next up, we need to remove this wiring harness and clip from the airbox itself. It's actually attached to a bracket there. To do so, you could either use a small pick tool, flathead screwdriver to release the clip back here and then pull up. At this point, our stock airbox is ready to come out. A couple little tips here. You're gonna wanna push this out of the way, just kind of secure it underneath one of your hoses. And then also, there are 2 rubber grommets on the back side of the airbox. You don't wanna lose those.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we've shown you how to remove your factory setup, it's time to start assembling our new intake so we can go ahead and install that. Now the first thing you want to do is make sure the Phillips head screws on your little beauty cover here are fully tightened down, because they do tend to come kind of loose. So we'll grab a Phillips head screwdriver here and tighten these down. Now important to note, you do not want to over tighten these because you can crack this little beauty cover here. Definitely don't want to do that. So we'll go ahead and tighten these down. Just nice and snug is fine. I like to go in a cross pattern here that kind of pulls this cover down evenly. Now that we have this done, we can go ahead and install our filter onto our adapter that does come already installed on your airbox. So we'll go ahead and flip this over. Grab our filter and our clamp for our filter. Now we're gonna kind of have to angle this in here, just like so. Get that to sit. And then to tighten our clamp down, we'll go ahead and grab our flathead screwdriver. Now you want to get it snug and make sure it's fully seated. It's gonna keep it in place. And go ahead and fully tighten it down. Alrighty guys, so now we've got our factory airbox back up on the table because our new one is going to mount to the lower portion of our factory airbox, so we need to separate the top side and also remove our mass airflow sensor from the factory box. So we'll go ahead and start by grabbing our Phillips head screwdriver, and there are 2 mounting screws and 3 tabs holding this on. So we'll go ahead and pop these off. Grab this other one here. Go ahead and hold on to those screws. And we can go ahead and pull the top of our airbox off. Set that aside. You also want to remove your factory filter and set that aside as well. Now we're going to go ahead and remove our mass airflow sensor from our factory airbox. So we're going to grab our T20 Torx bit and extension on our ratchet. Now I highly recommend using hand tools for this because you do not want to damage your mass airflow sensor. These are expensive. Now you want to very carefully remove this. Go ahead and set that down. Then we can be done with our upper portion of our airbox. So now we've got our new intake tube up on the table here. What we're going to do is grab our mass airflow sensor. Now our kit comes with a gasket that we'll go ahead and install onto our mass airflow sensor. The underside here. And you want to line it up correctly. These holes are not the same on each side. Now that we have that on, we'll go ahead and install our mass airflow sensor. So we'll go ahead and get that lined up here. Then we'll grab our provided Phillips head screws. Go ahead and get those in. And we'll get one started here with our Phillips head screwdriver. And we can go ahead and get the other one started. Go ahead and tighten these down. Okay. Now we can set this tube aside. Now we can go ahead and mount our new upper airbox to our factory lower airbox. So we'll line up our 3 mounting tabs here. Then we can go ahead and reuse those factory screws. Now, I mentioned before that there were 2, there are actually 3. One of ours has been lost to time due to many previous installs. So we'll go ahead and get both the ones we have started. And we'll again grab that Phillips head screwdriver, get these tightened up. And again, from factory, you should have that 3rd one as well. Now, if these rubber grommets did come off upon removal of your factory airbox, you want to go ahead and reinstall those. Go ahead and pop those back on. Now we're ready to go onto the vehicle with our airbox. Alrighty guys, so now we're ready to go into the truck with our airbox. Now, as you probably saw coming out, this is a little bit of a tight squeeze going back in as well. Make sure that you do not pinch your harness here. Do your best to keep that up and out of the way. Also want to keep clear of your coolant lines here. You want to make sure you get back on this mounting stud here for that 10mm nut. Go ahead and line your grommets back up. Now once you get this close, you can go ahead and reinstall your connector here back onto that clip. And make sure you have access to your mass airflow sensor connector. Just make sure that's up and clear. So now that we have our airbox in position, we'll go ahead and get our lower tube here back into our factory portion of our airbox. Go ahead and set that in place, make sure that's good. Then we can reinstall that 10mm nut on our mounting stud. You want to be careful not to drop this down in your engine bay. Go ahead and get that started. Now we'll go ahead and tighten that nut down with our 10 mil socket and extension on our impact. So now we're going to go ahead and install our couplers onto our new intake tube. So our reducer one is going to go from our throttle body to our intake tube. So we've got that and a clamp on here. We'll go ahead and get that on. Make sure that seats nice and evenly, like so. And you want to go ahead, you want to have the screws of your clamp in an accessible position, so kind of line that up with how it's going to sit, just like so. And we'll take our flathead and go ahead and tighten this clamp down. Now we can get our air filter side on. So again, get our clamp onto our coupler here. Get our coupler onto our intake tube. Go ahead and make sure that seats. Now you don't want to run past about halfway where the bellow is, because you want the other side to have a nice area to seat as well. And again, just kind of line this up with how it's going to sit so you can have your screws in an accessible position. And we'll take our flathead and tighten this one down. So now we can get our intake tube on. So our smaller clamp is going to go on our throttle body side of our coupler. The larger one's going to go again with that intake filter side. I'll go ahead and line this up. Get it onto our filter first. Line it up. Get it onto our throttle body. And you may want to loosen this clamp up a little bit, just to give it a little bit extra room to get onto the throttle body. Sometimes they tend to be a little snug. Go ahead and gently work that on there. You want to make sure you're not pinching your coupler anywhere. Go ahead and seat that onto both ends. Now we can go ahead and tighten down our clamps. And we'll do the same thing for our filter side. Okay, once we have these both tight, we'll go ahead and plug our mass airflow sensor back in. We'll go ahead and plug our mass airflow sensor back in. Make sure that snaps into place, and then go ahead and lock that red safety tab back down. So the last thing we're going to need to do here is fully remove our factory PCV line. So just as the other side, we're going to go ahead and push in on that gray tab. Pop this out. We can set that aside. And your kit comes with a new hose. So we're going to go ahead, you don't need hose clamps for these according to the manufacturer. So go ahead and slide these on. Get it on here. Now this will rotate, so you don't want to kink this line. You want to have it at a nice arch here. So go ahead and get that on there. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our Corsa Performance closed box cold air intake with MaxxFlow 5 oiled filter for your 19 to current 5.3 liter Silverado 1500. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.